Hello guys, I hope you guys are doing well. So I'm coming back this week for a video that I didn't plan on filming this week. I actually was waiting for me to get the paperback version of the book because like the first review I did on this particular author, I wanted to be able to present the book to you guys and say what I felt about it, like because I'm really big on covers, textures and all of that, but I couldn't wait and I really had to put it out there today. So I'm actually filming today and posting it today. So as you can see from the title, this is gonna be a review on the book by Michae Marie, and this is the second book out of the series Whisper Me Nothings, and this is Take My Hand. So this is the second book. The first one came out in, I believe, October, and it was called Take You Down, and it was about the first couple, because each book is gonna focus on one member of the group Whisper Me Nothing. So it's a rock band, and basically they've known each other for years, and each of the book is gonna be a love story about one of the members. First, let me talk about the cover, but it's the same kind of, vision that she had for the first book, where you have the title all across the book, because the first time it was purple and green, and if you read the book you know why, because those were the two colors that were representing Walker and Scarlet, and in this particular one you have a gradient of red and dark red. And if you read the book Take My Hand, again there's a little hint about why dark red is representative for the couple of Carter and Hayden. So I cannot wait to see what is the cover gonna look like for the next book, and I loved it. It's so beautiful. It's like you have images of somebody playing the bass, and which is supposed to represent obviously Hayden, and I love it. And let me tell you, first, you guys know I loved the first book. I love Take You Down. I did a review on this, and it's always a bit weird when you know the person. I mean, I'm saying that like she's my best friend and I talk to her every day now, but I mean, we've talked before, like on Instagram, on YouTube. She was such a big help to me when I was deciding to launch my YouTube channel, because if you guys didn't know, my first video was me giving my advice on recommendation from people that I follow on here on YouTube, on BookTube, and she was one of the people that I decided to mention. And back then I had no idea, when I filmed the video at first, that she was coming out with her own book. So it was one of the first video on my channel, me reviewing Take You Down, and I got the paperback and I also got the ebook version because I really wanted to support her, even though I keep telling you guys that I never buy a paperback version. Either they're gifted to me, so then I enjoy them, but I try to be as much eco-responsible as I can, and also because I read quicker on a digital, like either a phone or a tablet. Now I have an e-reader, so it's easier for me. So yeah, I got her book, and I did a review. She didn't ask me to, so I want to make it very clear I did that all on my own. She would never do that, I think, and I think she noticed it, and then she contacted me, which was the highlight of my birthday week, because if you guys know, I've been struggling with my mental health in the past few months. It hasn't been the easiest time for me, so this year I didn't want to celebrate because I felt like there was not as much things to celebrate like I did last year, because last year was when I purchased my first home, when I turned 30, so I did a huge celebration. But this year, because my mood was down, I didn't want to celebrate my birthday, and so I didn't make a big fuss out of it. So when she contacted me, it was actually the day after my birthday, and she was like, hey, would you like me to send you an ARC copy of the book? And I was like, of course, who would say no? Like, I was ready to, and I still am gonna get the paperback version, but I was ready to get the ebook by myself and to get the paperback and support her like I did for the first book. Not even out of sympathy because I think she's a nice person or because I enjoy her channel. No, because I really truly enjoyed the first book. So I really wanted to do that, just as a fan of the series, because I was so excited to read, especially because in this particular book, so in Take My Hand, we're gonna follow two characters that were previously introduced in Take You Down. And this is gonna be a review without me giving any spoilers, because first of all, the book is coming out on March the 25th, 2024, so not next week, the week after. So I don't want any spoilers to be out, even though you know me. When when I do a review on the book, I cannot stop myself. Like, I have a really hard time describing the book without spoiler, but I'm gonna do my best here. And also, I just want to let you guys the pleasure of discovering the book just like I did. So it's gonna be difficult for me to describe because the two characters that were introduced, one is Aiden, so one of the member of the band, I believe is the one playing bass, and the second one is Carter. And for me, it's difficult to explain to you her background without giving a spoiler on Take You Down, because in Take You Down something happens to her and around her relationship. So you're gonna have to read the first book in order for you to understand what is going down in this book as well. But to keep it simple, in this book, we're gonna see how Aiden is also struggling from a trauma, and the trauma is explained not really in depth, but it's touched upon in Take You Down, and then you really get the background and the details in this book. So he had something traumatic happen to him, and so he's struggling through his trauma. He has anxiety attack, and Carter had one also at the beginning of Take My Hand, and he was there for her because he's familiar with anxiety attacks. So basically they're each other, you know, rock, and she also is going through something. So yeah, they have an attraction to each other, but they don't really, you know, dare at first to act on it. Him because he's thinking that she needs time to heal and to have peace and to be by herself and to, you know, reconstruct herself in a sense. And also her, same thing, she's thinking that he's struggling to things because at the end of Take You Down, there's a big thing happening with the band that each of the member is struggling with. So yeah, both of them are hesitant to act upon it, but when they act on it, oh my god, like they make the most beautiful couple. There's certain aspects of their intimacy that was not familiar to me because I'm not into that, because they were into some acts and kinks that I don't personally have, but I loved it because it was so informative. It's not like Michae threw it in her face like, okay, this is what they're into and you just get over it. No, she really explained the psychology behind it, why he felt the need to request that from a partner and why she felt the need to be, you know, into it, and also to, yeah, let him, you know, explore things with her. I'm gonna try to be as vague as I can so I don't give it out. So yeah, I really liked it, and like I said in my first review, she's exploring super serious topics like, you know, abusive relationship and narcissistic partners, and also sobriety, because in the first book there's somebody struggling with that, you know, with the fact that they were trying to keep away from alcohol. So we see a lot of important topics, and in this one we're also exploring grief, trauma, the fact that you can have PTSD, how to recover from that, how multiple people that went through the same event are going through it, because two of the members of the band, like I said, lived through a traumatic event and their family members were involved, and we are seeing how each of the member and their family members are also exploring that event and how they're coping through that. So I really enjoyed it because we don't have only the aspect of the main couple, everybody's going through some things. And like I said in the first review, I hated, when I say hated, I hated with passion the character of Reed. Reed really got on my nerve in the first book. But I would have to say that that's where I see that Michae is really talented as an author and somebody that is good at storytelling, because I actually have a soft spot for him now. Like, we see a glimpse of the reason behind his anger and why is the, you know, main point of discord between the members. Like, they have troubles seeing eye to eye, and he's one of the main reasons. He's one of the person that is making it difficult for the group and the band to get along. We finally see why, and aspect of the reason in this book in Take My Hand, and I really appreciated that, because I still cannot stand your ass, but I'm starting to feel a little bit sorry for you, which is a big step for me, because I swear to God, when I finished Take You Down, I was like, okay, I'm gonna read all of the series because I want to support Michae, but I cannot stand Reed. And I know, I was like, when I read this book, I'm gonna be breezing through it. It reminded me a little bit when I was reading the series by Sophie Lark, when we got to the book where you have Dean, because I hated Dean with my entire being, and I was like, I don't know how I can feel sympathy for him, empathy for him, when, you know, you're supposed to read a story and romance, especially you're supposed to feel some kind of feelings for the main couple. Yeah, maybe it's gonna be the same for Reed, and maybe I'm gonna tell you guys that his book was my favorite, I don't know. As for now, it's so funny because I was like, I don't know how she's gonna be able to top Take You Down and the romance between Scarlett and Walker, because it was so beautiful to read. But guys, take my hand, like the story between Hayden and Carter, my favorite couple, like their interaction, the way it built it up, the climax, and even the struggles that they had to go through with, they're my favorite. Like, they're my favorite. I'm saying it now. I'm sure that Michae is gonna make me swallow my words in the next two books, but I love them for now. When she sent me the hard copy, as soon as I got it, I started. And I took a break because I was really busy during the week, and I was like, I want to be able to immerse into it. I started this morning and I finished it like in one go. It was so good I couldn't put it down, because I was thinking that I was gonna finish tomorrow and I was gonna upload the video on Wednesday or something like that. So I was planning to film something else for today, but I wasn't able to put it down. I woke up super early for no reason at 8 a.m. and then I was in it until like early afternoon because it was so enjoyable for me. And so I was like, I need to put my feelings on video as soon as I can so it's fresh in my memory. But yeah, I love the love story between Carter and Hayden and the interaction we see with other characters, and now I cannot wait. I like Nikolai, so he's one of the other band members, but I'm telling you guys, I cannot wait to get to read, because even though I'm kind of feeling what is gonna happen in the book with Nikolai, I know who is gonna be the love interest. I mean, I guessed who is gonna be the love interest. I still cannot wait for read, because to me there has to be an explanation to being such an asshole. I'm sorry, Michae, because she actually laughed at me and the way I described him in my first review, but I swear he gets on my nerves so bad. But you know what? That's how we can identify a good author, somebody really, really talented at storytelling and crafting a universe, because you have to be good at having villains. You cannot have only good people in your stories, which is one aspect of romance that sometimes is one of my pet peeves. And I told you, when everything is like good and perfect and the couple is wow and there's no struggle and no real life issues, in a sense, because no love story is like that. So I love the fact that a story is realistic, and she gave us a villain which is Reed. I cannot stand him, and this is realistic, this is real life. Out of a group of people, you're not gonna enjoy and appreciate everybody. You're gonna have people that you prefer. It's the same thing at work. I'm sure none of you guys can tell me that you love all of your colleagues. There's has to be somebody that gets on your nerve. So she was really good at that, because you have to be particularly good to create villains. I think it's easier to create people that people like, but to be able to really craft a villain that people are gonna hate with passion, because it's also, pulling feelings out of people when you give them a reaction so strongly that they cannot stand somebody that is only written on paper. They don't know him. We don't even know what he looks like. We just have the description that she has in the book. So to me, that's a big talent that you can see there. And yeah, I was a bit anxious at first, because I was like, she didn't ask me to do a video. And I felt like if I did one and I didn't like the book, it was gonna be like me stabbing her in the back, in a sense, because how you're gonna receive an hard copy and then bash the book? But I promised myself when I started this channel that I was always gonna be honest, and I was never gonna be influenced by the fact that I knew an author, that I knew somebody that I was writing, because when I write my first book, I want people to be honest with me. But truly, guys, I have nothing to say. Like, the only thing I could say is that it was too short. I'm joking, because I said that the first time, but yeah, it was so short. I felt like, oh, I could go on, and read a little bit more about Aiden and Carter. So yeah, it had like a bittersweet feeling when I finished the book, because I was happy to see the climax and how it ended, but I still wanted more, because obviously it's a cliffhanger and you're gonna want to read the next book to know what's happening. Yeah, so there's some aspect of the story that I wish she could have expanded a little bit more on, but other than that, it was perfect. I really enjoyed it, and she is making me like an universe that, like I told you guys in my first review, is not familiar to me, because I don't listen to rock, I don't listen to bands. So it's something that even me being able to tell the difference between the different instruments is big. So yeah, she really made me discover a new universe, and I'm gonna start reading band romances. And yeah, I was happy to see that people were enjoying her writing, because her first book, Take You Down, has 4.07 on Goodreads, and I'm not surprised. I gave it a 5 star, and I've seen that the rating she got on Amazon is quite similar. I think she got also 4 stars, which, you know, people are really harsh on reviewing books. Like, I've seen books that I really enjoy get like 2.5 stars, 3 stars on Amazon and Goodreads, and I was like, oh my god, like, I'm so scared of the day when I'm gonna have to put myself out there, because people are so nasty and so mean sometimes in the comments. So I'm so glad to see that people are enjoying her books, and I wish her so much more, because guys, she deserves all the success and even more. So I'm so happy for her, and I hope that people are gonna love Take My Hand, because I personally loved it. I'm gonna reread it because I read it the first time just so I would be able to write a review and give you guys my opinion, because I want to make sure that it gets out there and people have something to go by if they are still hesitating to get the book. But I still want to reread it again more slowly, take my time to really enjoy the small moments, because listen, this book made me go through so many emotions. When it was spicy, I had my heart. You know, when you cringe reading something because you feel like you're in the scene with the character. I don't know, for example, when you watch a show, a movie, and you have to put down, like, put pause on the TV or put down your e-reader because you're feeling so like, oh my god, you know, the feels. Like, I felt that. There are so many moments where I cried, and I'm not even joking with you guys, like, cried real tears, because it was so beautiful, and some of the scenes were really hard to read because the trauma that she was exploring is hard to, you know, process from the outside, because you feel the pain of the character. She described the pain and the, you know, the sadness and the sorrow so well that I had, you know, no choice but to feel for those characters and to feel what they were experiencing. So that was really beautiful. So yeah, I cannot wait for you guys to see the book, to have it in your hands, to enjoy it. And I cannot wait to be in November, because I believe that the next book is coming out November 2024. Also, one thing, and I cannot believe that I kept this for the ending of the video, because I was about to pass out when I saw it. Because one thing about me, I'm not really one to read the acknowledgements in books. Most of the time I read authors that I've read before, so usually their acknowledgements are pretty similar, you know, so after a point I stopped completely reading them. But I remember I read the first acknowledgement in Take You Down when I read the first book, because I was like, oh, it's the first book of Michae. I want to see what she was thinking and, you know, how she felt when she was finishing the book. And this time, like, I was so sad to finish the book. I was still scrolling on my Kindle, and I started reading the acknowledgements, and guys, I almost fell off my bed. And I'm gonna put it on the screen because yes, I'm gonna be bragging about it until the day I die. But I was in the acknowledgements and I was like, oh, that is so nice, because I've never been, like, the only time I've been in a book was when my history teacher back then, when I was in high school, was doing a book on important historic events. We had to do research for him, so he mentioned the whole class in his acknowledgement, but I'm not even sure that he put our names like that. But she put my name, she put my YouTube and Instagram handle, and I was like, oh wow, because, you know, back then when I did the video, like I said, and even this one, I didn't do it for any type of recognition. I didn't expect her to send me a free book or anything like that. I didn't want her to feel away. Like, I really did it out of my own, you know, volition, and because I really wanted to, you know, share my joy with the world, because I enjoyed her book so much, and it was such a nice surprise for me, because like I said, she's really talented. I'm not saying that to, you know, be biased towards her, or because I want her to be nice to me and send me again an hard copy. Not at all. Like, if it was trash, I would tell you how it is, but it wasn't. It was beautiful. I love her writing, I love her pen. And so to see that she really enjoyed my video, and to the point where she mentioned in her book saying that she wanted to thank people that appreciated the book and took the time to do reviews, I was like, wow. And it's not like it was difficult for me to do. Like, I did one video and I think an Instagram post or something like that, but yeah, it was truly honest. And yeah, I'm really glad that she enjoyed it, and that she enjoyed the video, and that I think it made her laugh also, because I was so goofy in it. So yeah, hopefully this time she can laugh as well. But I wanted to say thank you, Michae, for even mentioning me. You didn't have to do that at all, and I'm gonna be telling that to anybody that can listen or that will listen, because listen, it was such a nice surprise. I was reading and then, oh, Sandra and I see my Instagram, because I was still thinking maybe it's another Sandra, and I see my Instagram and YouTube handle, and I was like, oh, I felt so official. You would think I just received my first Grammy award or something like that. I was so happy. Like, I called my friends, I was like, you guys are never gonna believe this, because when she contacted me to offer me to send me an art copy, I told all my friends, I was like, you will not believe that. But to see that she mentioned me in the acknowledgement, I'm like, wow, like this this is bragging points. Like, I'm feeling like, you know, when you're in elementary school and you have cool Pokemon cards, like now I'm the cool girl in school and I can tell people that, listen, I was in a book, okay, even if I didn't write my own book yet. So yeah, no, Michae, thank you so much. Like, that was such an honor. And yeah, I hope you're gonna do tremendously good with this book, as much as you did with the first one, and I'm sure people are gonna enjoy it. And I'm gonna go put my 2 cents on Goodreads and on Amazon, because yeah, I need to share with everybody. I will see you guys in the next video, and in the meantime, please check out Take My Hand and enjoy the book just like I did. Bye guys.